guys, and we are the Wild Wanderers. I'm Melissa, joined with Emma as usual, and we have a special guest today, Nicole. And today's topic is all about cold water swimming and the after-drop that you can experience from cold water swimming.
Yeah, so basically when you go into cold water, your body goes into a lot of stress. Now your natural stress reaction is to not feel well at all, start feeling sick, start feeling like you're maybe going to pass out or extremely tired. And if this happens, you really need to listen to your body. So the after drop normally happens 15 minutes when you get out the water. That's when you feel the coldest. So you might go in, you're going to experience that initial cold water shock, but not the stress that comes with the after drop. And you're going to come out, you're going to feel absolutely fantastic. And there are so many benefits to cold water swimming, which we'll get onto, but at the moment we're just going to focus on the after drop. So 15 minutes after you come out, you feel sick. So I would recommend carrying a kind of pop, some chocolate, some carbs, going for a little walk, some star jumps, some burpees. So when I used to wild swim a long time ago, and then I took it back up in December, thinking I'd be fine, thinking I'd be okay. I got out the water, I felt absolutely fantastic. I was in there for longer than I should have been because I was with a group of people and I thought, I'm not really feeling the cold here. It was December, it was the North Sea, it was snowing, I was just in a swimming costume. I got dressed, got in the car, started driving home, and I had to pull over. I really didn't feel well at all. I got home that day and I slept for hours. I was wiped out. It was the first I'd heard of not feeling very well, and then I started doing a lot of research and speaking to a lot of people about it. But the more times that you go into cold water, your body gets used to that stress reaction, and your natural day stress reactions start to diminish because your body's so used to being under that stress. So it's highly beneficial for mental health. It's really, really good for your body, but there are hazards to it as well, and you might not experience it the first or second time. Melissa and Nicole will tell you their stories, but at least, nearly everybody who has been in cold water will have experienced the after drop.
Yeah, so my first time into wild swimming, I didn't actually experience any type of after drop. In the water a few minutes, and I actually felt great, despite the fact that it took my breath away when I went in, and for the first time, it was awful, the feeling I was going, this cold water, I couldn't breathe, and I was so it made us really, really aware of my breath. So I had to take really long, deep breaths to kind of get myself used to being in the cold water. But I didn't experience a cold water drop after the first time. It wasn't until we did a tour of Scotland and was swimming round about twice a day. And there was 2 days on that trip where I just felt absolutely exhausted. It just felt like this tiredness had just come over us out of nowhere, and I had to sleep. So that was the only 2 times I experienced it, but I've never experienced it since. And what I do is I go in gradually. I take my time and I take deep breaths as I'm approaching the water. So it's probably beneficial to do that, focus on the breath, go in slowly, start with your feet and just build yourself up all the time. But that's not to say that you still won't experience the after drop. You still might. But it's just to be mindful in a way, if you're not aware of the after drop, that it is a thing, because sometimes you can go into this and not know. So it's just to be mindful in a way and just take your time.
Hi, so my first time I experienced it was around November time, and it was the second time I actually did cold water swimming. The first time I went with a lady who was very experienced, and she was very mindful that it was my first time. She eased me into it, she talked me through what I should be doing. And the second time I went with a group of people that weren't very mindful, and they were just saying, do you want to do a couple of laps, do you want to do some swimming, and I was in a wetsuit at the time, I wasn't actually in skins, and silly enough I actually stayed in longer than what my body was actually telling me that I should have been in. I knew that I actually started to feel a bit strange because my core felt very achy. Maybe I don't know whether it was because I was tense because of the cold water, but I went home shortly after and I found it very hard to warm up. I was very tense in my chest, like I had a dull ache, and it completely wiped me out. It made me feel very poorly, and I slept for a long time that day. And the lesson that I learned from that was that you don't need to push your body to them limits. You don't need to prove a point. You're there to feel good, and you're there for yourself. And everybody has their own limits. Everybody has their own experiences as to why they're there, and it's important to listen to yourself and, most importantly, your body when it's saying, I've had enough, I would say.
Yeah, definitely. So when you do start experience the massive benefits from cold water swimming, you do feel rejuvenated. You do feel like you've got energy to start the day. You feel a lot more relaxed. You feel so content when you come out of that water, and you feel incredible afterwards.
And it actually becomes addictive though, doesn't
Definitely,
it? Like
massively.
one thing I never thought I would get addicted to was cold water swimming, but here I am.
Because you're the first person that you hate cold.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. I hate being cold, I'm always cold.
So all we want to say, guys, is just be aware that yes, it can get glamorized, and yes, a lot of people do it and they look absolutely fantastic doing it, but there are side effects, and the after job is something. So if you're not sure, Google it, give us a message. We're on Facebook. If you're on our Facebook page, Wild Wanderers for Women Only, or our Instagram, Wild Wanderers Women, which is open to everybody, or give us a comment below. We'll put
we'll link our Instagrams down below so that you can get in contact with us and follow our pages as well.
And just remember, most importantly, to have fun.
And stay safe.